Hey guys, welcome to another video from the Parrott Bros. I'm Dom and today I'm going to show you how I installed this lovely Coolerworx shift tower. I have fitted it before and I want to show a bit more in depth, just a step by step. I'm not going to go through the full installation because I have already fitted it, but I've got everything out ready to show you what you need to remove, what tools you're going to need, the amount of time and people and beers you're going to need to do for the job, and basically everything you're going to need in between to get one of these beautiful shifters fitted, and you will not regret it. Right, let's jump to that intro. Right, so in this video I'm going to cover everything from how to remove this, the connections that are made, problems you might come up against, things that are a little bit more difficult, things that are going to be easy, and basically everything in between. Now, yes, I'm doing this on a ramp. Yes, it is definitely going to be easier on a ramp. Do you need a ramp? No. Do you need some decent height? Yes. Now, the reason you need that is because you're going to need to remove your exhaust, because basically this is mounted in the central tunnel. I'll show you in a minute. But basically, you're going to need to remove the exhaust. If you have a cat, you're going to need to remove the cat. Now, this may take a little bit longer depending on how your setup is, because if you've got an original factory cat that's 20 years old, you may need to just grind the head of the bolts off, knock them out and then put some new nuts and bolts in, because they may well be, well, vanished, because the nuts after time for all the heat cycles basically just turn to dust and then become sort of a round thing. So prep that in maybe for a different day. Do that first, get the exhaust ready to be off, then you can jump into this. Then you will need to remove the first heat shield, which is this one. So this heat shield here is mounted between your exhaust and your prop shaft. You need to remove that. Then you need to remove your prop shaft from the rear end. I found this to be easier. And then remove the two dog bone bolts at the front to allow you to get leverage. Basically, you're going to swing the engine slightly forward to then allow you the length to be able to drop the prop out, because it's quite a big spindle that it sits on. And then you can swing the prop to one side, get it cable tied out of the way. You will need to move it to get the shifter out afterwards, but very simple. And then you need to remove this heat shield, which goes up where the downpipe comes down. All very simple. You may need some new clips because they look like this. And often, have I got any really rusty ones? I will dig one out in a minute. But basically, they look like this. And they just push over a thread. But often these turn to dust. They go brown, obviously go rusty. And then when you go to bend them, they just fall to bits. So you may need some more of those. Dead simple on eBay. What I would recommend with this job is it's not that bad. It's quite time consuming, but there is a lot of things that could cause you some bother, like these and things like that. So have a good recce first. If you think you're going to need some, eBay like £3 for 10, or go to your local motor factors and get yourself a bag. It's like an M5 or M6 thread. They literally just push on with you put a socket on and just stick them up. Once you've got your props and that out the way, and you've got this ready to drop down, you need to take your center console out. So you need to take the plastic center console out. Then there's a bezel which sits over the gear shifter, which you're going to remove. Then you're ready to drop it down. Now, the factory one has 4 bolts in, 2 threads at the front, 2 bolts at the back, and then you can literally just drop that out. Now, it does have these metal clips on here, this gold brass one. And then you can either push the tabs in to allow it to drop out of the hole, or you can pull the clip out with a screwdriver, you can leverage it out, and then that will drop down. Ideally a 2-person job, just because the lifting in and out of this is a little bit awkward, and it's at a weird height and stuff like that. Then you have 2 cables which mount in here. One's for front to back movement, one's for side to side movement for gear shifting. And of course I have a pair prepared ready to show you. Now these are mounted into the box using like a circlip style thing. So they have this clip here, which goes over that ridge there on both of these, and that's how they're held into that shifter box. Now you don't actually need to adjust that end of the cabling. So you don't need to reset it, you don't need to change it. You literally do everything from this end. So setting up is actually relatively easy. I'll take a picture for you at the end of this video showing you the settings I have on my Coolerworx shift tower. If you set it to that, you should be able to get reverse and you shouldn't have any real issues with gears. Now, removal of these is very simple. They have, one has a circlip on, and the other one, actually I think on the factory one they both might have circlips on, I lie. And all they are is pushed on. So this one goes over and it's onto a ball. Now it is quite fiddly, we'll say. I won't try and pop it on now, but basically it sits on this ball here, and you basically just need to get a screwdriver or a fork and just leverage it off. The other one is much simpler because it's mounted on this lower one here, and it just simply slides on like that. Far easier. There's a little circlip which you pop off, and then it slides off. And then you get your two cables out. Now, you are basically refitting it exactly the same in reverse. So when you put your new shift tower up into the car, lift it up and in, you're then going to feed your cables through into the shift tower. Don't worry, I'm going to show you this under the car, what it looks like fitted on the car. You're going to slide them in, and then you're going to put your two circlips once they're through, and then that will retain that in your box. Then on the newer shift tower, it has a cover that goes on. The only thing I haven't mentioned to you yet is to gain access to your factory one, it has this cover on, obviously to stop the crap getting in, and I've just bent it out of the way. But basically, all the way around, it has small metal tabs you can see here, like there, and all you do is you just need to get a little screwdriver and just pry it ever so slightly, and then it will allow you just to pull it off. There's a couple of tabs on each end, and then once you start to work it down, you can usually just kind of peel it away, and then it will give you access to that. Then, once that's all off and you've got your new one in, there's a little bit of fettling involved. Now, I'll take you over to the car to talk you through this bit because it's not hard, but basically the two fixings at the front still have bolts and they still lift up into place, but the rear ones are actually set further back because in the car, where these mount here, actually it's quite easy to explain here, where these mount here, you're going to be removing that, and then the actual new ones are mounted here. They're right at the back of the shift tower. So what you need to do is fit it, bolt these two in on the new one, and then on this, the old one, sorry, the new one, when you've got it fitted, you can either do one of two things. Get a pencil and go up from the bottom and then draw a line through both. And then, that's what I did. And then I took the shift tower out and I got a punch from below and just literally punched both holes and then went into the car and just drilled down into those two holes. I made them 2 mil bigger than they needed to be, just to allow a tiny bit of finesse, just to get it perfect, and then used a nice washer and spring washer with the Allen cap screws that they provide, and then bolted it in, and it is absolutely solid. Let's have a quick look at mounting in the car, then we'll go underneath and see how it's mounted. Okay, so like I was saying, we're in the car. These are the two original fixings which you already have. And then normally, the other two fixings would be behind this metal plate. Now what I have done is they're the two fixings that you're going to be popped on. Like I said, tap them from the bottom, get a punch, so it gives you a little dimple, and then you can just come up the top and it's quite easy to see where you're going to do it. Now I'm at the stage at the top here where I'm actually just adjusting this bracket, because basically normally that bracket's completely round, but of course we've now got a shift tower in the way. And on mine, this the same will be on yours if you buy this one, is that this ball goes up and down. So we need to allow for that as well. So I'm just going to have to trim around the aluminium bracket, the bezel that goes round here. We just have a nice gap there with a nice smooth filed edge on both sides, and then get it to stop there, and then that'll allow us to put the rest of our centre console in and keep it sort of as factory as possible. I'll take some pictures. So at the end of the video, I'll put pictures of all the settings of these little grub screws here to allow you to get your lift up reverse and all that kind of stuff. And just a few stills of all the installation from all different angles, just so you're fully kind of aware of what's going on. Right, let's go and have a look underneath at what we've got set up. So as you can see, you are a little bit intruded by the exhaust and the prop. Now normally, your exhaust would kind of finish around here, and then you'd have your cats or decat. Now this is a custom system with a straight pipe which is V-banded afterwards, which is a little bit annoying because it makes life a little bit harder. So we've taken the prop off from there, and then that allows me to then swing it out to the side. I've got it cable tied up out the way. This is where it's easy if there's two of you, because one of you can hold it, because this knuckle joint here will allow you to swing it down when you want to install your shift tower. There's the shift tower installed. Oh, I'm trying to get my foot on stuff. Let's try and get it focused. I got a play ball? There we go. I'll get some stills because it's not really going to allow me to show you particularly well, but the cables come in, same as the other one, onto there, fitted nice. And then, yeah, you do have some space to work with. You just have to kind of move things out of the way. But once you've got that down and in, very simple to set up. Like I said, one pushes on and the other one you have to bolt on. Any questions, of course, if you're fitting one of these, feel free to drop me a message. I'll be more than happy to talk you through it. Once you're finished in there, make sure everything's popped on good. Make sure you go up to the top and get all your gears and everything. And then you can pop the cover on the bottom, and then you can start putting the car back together. Right, let me get this all buttoned up at the bottom, and then I will come back to you with a bit of a finish, and we'll do some stills and whatnot. Okay, so there is the shift tower installed, looking absolutely fantastic. Let's talk a bit through what we've had to do to get it to fit. So of course I've had to trim around here on the actual center console itself. I've also had to trim this bezel here, and all I did was the width of the shift tower plus about 10 mil, just to give you a little bit of a gap at the side, because at the end of the day you can't see it. And then I've trimmed the bezel here, and then I've trimmed it here, again the width of this. Now the reason I've trimmed it there is because when you go side to side, that ball comes up and will get in the way. I'll probably powder coat this black so it sort of blends in a bit more. But this thing looks absolutely fantastic. It looks almost like it's meant to be there. Now, of course, it's not 100%, but then again, it was never going to be because, well, it's not meant to be there. It's far too big, but it's definitely a lot better than it was in my last car, because in my last car, I didn't have this trim, which I regret having because it made the road noise really bad. It just looked a bit naff. At least this way, I've still got all access to the buttons. I've still got the cubby, and everything else still sort of fits around. And it just looks like it's kind of meant to be there, like an OEM Plus-ish. I know it's not perfect, but it is, what they say, because race car. So settings-wise, let me just change hands in the camera. So settings-wise, the settings you need to know about are those ones down there. See those? Let's rest the camera. These ones here, these are the ones you need to adjust, because when you lift for a reverse, that allows you to get the extra travel for the reverse. They're the only real settings you need to set up on this to get it to work sweet with ease. Also, I've put the cable, cut a hole down the side there, so this doesn't actually fully close. You could trim the edge of this off and it would shut nice, but to be honest, I'm happy with the buttons showing. I'm probably going to put a little panel here just with some buttons and a meth light, so that I know when the meth's starting to run out, and a few other bits and bobs. So that's kind of where we are with it. Let me take a step back out of the car and just give you a look from a distance. Let me know what you think. There you go. So that is what it looks like in the car. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait to drive it with it, because it is just, honestly, it transforms the drive of the car. I'll get the rest of the dashboard in and whatnot, but that won't be for a later video because I need to fit the meth. So we're going to do quite a bit of cabling and stuff up under there, and I need to do some wiring on the other side, but I'm sure you'll agree that looks absolutely wicked. And it'll make driving so much nicer, because the original one stopped about here, so it just means you don't have to reach down to try and grab it. Right, let me just get you on the tripod quickly. So I hope you found that interesting. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop me a message, send me some pictures, whatever you need. I'll be more than happy to talk you through it. It's not as bad as it looks. It's more of a time consuming than actually particularly hard. You may snap a few bolts. I snapped 2 trying to get the under trays and the heat shielding off. But besides that, went pretty well. allow a day, you know what I mean? It's a good day, couple of you, because there's quite a few big things you need to move out of the way, but a fantastic result, and it will definitely transform the feel and the drive of this car. If you want to get one for yours, I popped a description to the exact one I've got down in the description, a link on where to get one. They retail for sort of between £500 and £600 brand new. You're unlikely to get them used unless you're lucky. They also do some more expensive ones, which I've also linked down in there so you can have a look. But I hope you found that helpful. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop me a message. You know where I am. And let us know. Would you have a shift tower in yours? Down in the comments. But until next time, guys, bye for now.